Citizen State Bank started before Citizen State. The town of Somerville and banking industry in the early 1900s, really, there was no FDIC, there was no formalized banking rules and regulations through trade associations and things. But the banking industry in the early 1900s was more of a company and just a business instead of a banking organization. June of 1925, Citizen State Bank was chartered by the State Banking Department. I guess I'll start back to the growth and stuff of when my dad graduated from Somerville High School in 1936. He was on the tail end of the Depression, and there weren't very many jobs at that time. My grandmother happened to run into one of the bankers there, Mr. Horton, and asked if they had any need for any kind of employment or had any kind of jobs that might be available, and he said they needed a janitor. Was able to stay in that profession for 60 years and progressed up to chairman of the board. Put together, I wish he would have had a chance to see all the growth that we've gone through. After my dad got back from the service and stuff and started doing more jobs there at the bank, he got into lending. His first loan was with an individual, and he was sitting in the office with Mr. Horton, and he was a tobacco chewer. Mr. Horton was. They let the customer explain, what all they needed to do and what they needed to borrow and how they wanted to repay it. And Mr. Horton had told my dad, he said, "All right, if I spit in that spittoon over there, you make the loan. If I get up and walk out, get rid of him." That was a learning process from quite some time ago, but that was my dad's first experience in the lending. In 1989, CSB bid on and were the successful bidder of First State Bank in Deanville, being our first branch. We weren't quite ready for 1990 because in June of 1990, People's National Bank in Caldwell failed, and we decided to bid on that, although we were just getting over adjusting to having our first branch. But we were the successful bidder in 1990 for the People's National. And in 1992, Burleson County Savings, that had their headquarters in Caldwell and a branch here in Somerville, failed. Through the RTC, the Resolution Trust Corporation, purchased the deposits and a few of the loans of the Burleson County Savings. So really a growth period for CSB and a adjustment of the volume of people, and we kept the branches, we kept all the people, or virtually all the people from those locations, and it was a great start.
I got started when I was 15 years old. We had just purchased Burleson County Savings Association, and we bought all their assets, and so that included desks and filing cabinets and fireproof safes. And Michael Binky and I, along with another friend of mine, had trucks and cattle trailers, and we hauled furniture from Caldwell to Somerville, and that's how I got started with the bank. I wasn't even old enough to drive at that time, and rode around with Michael, and he had gotten he was doing his internship for his master's program at A&M, and that was his internship, was moving furniture that summer, so that's how I got started.
Don't know anything else, grew up in the bank and been a banker all my life, whether I liked it or not, but I love it. Get to help people on a day-to-day basis. That's the way I look at it. So trying to serve my community and my customers, and that's what I leave at the end of the day with, is how many people did I get to help today?
It's different. We joke a lot of times. I had one of our board members mention that we're striving to be the biggest small bank in Texas. So, it's hard to cater to the older generation who may not use the computers and the phones and that. They want to come in, they want to see somebody. But then you've got the students who want to come in and, they might not ever want to see anybody, but they get everything opened up and everything's done online or on their phone. And, they might make a phone call, but they might rather chat. So, it is difficult for us to have those type of demographics to cater to. And I've mentioned that to our marketing department. I said, that's what I need y'all to do, is figure out how to do that. We can't lose focus of what got us here, but we also have to recognize that there's different products and services that are becoming available that, 50 years ago, no one even thought about that. I was working in IT back in 1999. I was a senior at A&M, and we were launching our internet banking product, and we were like, who in this part of the world is gonna use internet banking? And now we've got 15,000 people using internet banking.
There's a bank on every corner, and so you can get products and services similar to what we have anywhere. So it's not necessarily what we do, but it's why we do it. Again, we want to serve our community. We have a servant's heart. That's who we are and what we do. And so I think that's what makes us special, is that we're there. We truly do want to help and be a part of our community and serve them. When I think for the next 100 years about CSB, I think about how much it's changed over the 25 plus years that I've been involved. And not necessarily just for Citizen State Bank itself, but as for community banking as a whole. I was fortunate enough to be on the Independent Bankers Association of Texas board of directors, and in that I noticed the number of community banks has significantly shrunk throughout the United States over that time period. And so I don't want to see that happen, because I know how big of an impact a community bank can have in its own community. And so what do I want to see? I want to see Citizen State Bank be a leader in the community bank industry, and not just thrive locally for us and continue to do so for the next 100 years, but also help the community banking industry as a whole, so that community banking is still alive 100 years from today.
We've got three things that we kind of go by. We take care of our customers exceptionally well, we take care of our communities, and we take care of our employees. And those are the three things that we kind of live by.
What got CSB to where we're at? Again, the commitment to our communities, the why we're here, the service. We want to be a part of the community and be a good corporate citizen, and that's our why.